Okay, welcome back. We are we are going to attempt to give this little painting some life now. And the first thing I want to do is go right into some phthalo blue. And I was not trying to rhyme right there, I promise. Alright. We'll come up here and just start putting in some color. Now I don't have a lot of color on my brush. So while we're doing this, we want the color to be kind of not real light, but you know, we don't want it real dark either. We're just gonna come down as close as we can in some spots to our mountain without bringing a lot of the dark color up into it. Because I got a funny feeling if we touch that dark too much, we're going to end up pulling some of it up into the sky, and we really don't want to do that. See right there? I mean, if we get a little up here, we can live with that, but we don't want a lot. Alright, about like so. And then we'll hang on to that brush a minute. And I'll go over here and pick up I got one somewhere. I'll have to find it. Yep, here it is. My little angle brush. That's it's just got a little angle on it. And I'll put a little blue on it. And I'll move this brush out of the way. And I'll come in and I'll come down to my line right here. And I'll start filling that in as best I can. Now it don't matter if you get a dark blue line right here, because we're gonna come in here in a few minutes and make some changes up here. We got quite a few changes to make in this painting. You guys may get bored on this one, or you may hang in there for the whole thing. I don't know, but this is going to be, like I said, this is going to be a little different than what we've been doing. But it's nothing hard. I mean, it really is not a hard painting to do. And you'll see that as we go along. You take you guys like Kevin Hill and guys like that, and David Brancato, them guys that do this kind of painting all the time, they'll be a whole lot faster at it than I am. But once we get this color close to our mountain line, range, mountain line, not the animal, but our border, I guess. Then we can come back up. We can start just blending some of this color in and just try to smooth it out best you can. Right in here. Alright, about like so is all we need. And I know that looks rough, but it won't here in a minute. It'll all come together. Alright, we're going to pick up our filbert brush, and we've already washed it and dried it, got it ready to go. And I'm going to come right over here into some white, and I'm going to bring a white line right at the top of these. Now if the bottom stays in the gray, as long as we get a white line up here, that's all that really matters right now. It don't matter if you get into the gray a whole lot. You just want to get a white line across this whole mountain range up here, because we're gonna play off this white here in a second. We'll bring this over like so, about like that. And we'll come in with just a little bit up here, about like so. Probably don't need as much on this side, but since it's here, we'll go ahead and work with it. I'm gonna come out of it in a couple places. Just tap up out of it like so. Not a lot, just a little, and then maybe right in here a little. Just tap on just a little color up there. Not much. And then along here, I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm just gonna come through here and just kind of tap. Just kind of tap up like so. Now if you can't tell what I'm doing already, I'll tell you. I'm making clouds. That's all I'm doing. Just making a few clouds right in here. That's gonna look like they hiding behind the mountain range back here. Or the hill range, or whatever you want to call it. That's entirely up to you. But I just want a little, and all I'm doing is tapping, and I'm just tapping at different heights, and just trying to keep the top of it as round and, as straight up as I can. I don't really know right here if you can really do wrong. I mean, I don't want to say you can't, but it'd be kind of hard to do them wrong, because clouds are free in nature. I mean, they just kind of do whatever it is they want to do. And I know that we are in control of these clouds because we're the one making them, but we want to make them look like real clouds if we can. We want to give them that same freedom that a real cloud would have. And that's all we're doing, is just coming across, just tapping here and there. And up here, just adding little floaters here and there, just to give the sky some kind of life. And we'll bring this one up just a little bit over here, like so. All right, now remember the bunny brush, which is that real soft haired bristle brush. This is when this brush really comes in handy, because you can come up here with just a corner and you can just start real softly blending the top of these clouds. Just real soft. Just start blending as soft as you can, and you'll see that paint just start moving in here, and it'll start looking so fluffy, and just making little circles with it. That's all I'm doing. That's all I'm doing. And over in here it won't matter. Alright, then I'll knock some of that color off. And I'll come up here and just kind of lightly hypnotize over these that we put up here at random. Just to kind of soften them down. I'm not trying to kill them. I just want to soften them down. About like so. Yeah, about like that. That's all I'm looking for. Alright, then I'll come back up here again, and I'll come back at the top of these again, and just real soft, just kind of blend them a little. And then real softly just come across them, just real soft, about like so, and put them right down into the painting like that. That's all we got to do. Alright, now I'm going to hang on to this brush a second because we're going to pick up our filbert again. Alright, I'm going to come right back up here in the white again. And I'm going to say we leave a little bit of sky showing over here. Just a little bit. Then we'll come up here and we'll just start with some little circles. About like so. Just make you some little circles up here. Then come back and fill this in. But leave that little blue up there at the top. About like so. And pick you up a little bit more paint. And everywhere that it's not real bright up here, go back up and touch it. And then kind of rub out the bottom a little. Alright. Now, let's do this with the knife. You can use your little knife or your big knife. It don't really matter at this point. Come in here and get you a little of your white and bring it out by itself out here. And then come in here and get you some of your midnight black. Just a little bit. And mix it in with this white. And mix this color up. Now what you should get is a light grayish lavender looking color. Because the Bob Ross Midnight Black has a lavender hue to it. And this color will turn to like a grayish lavender when you add the white to it. And then I'm cleaning off my knife, that's all I'm doing. Alright, then I'm going to pick my filbert brush back up. And I'm going to get just a little bit of this color that we just made. And I'm going to come up here at the bottom of here. And I want to add a little of that color right in here. And little circles across here. Like so. Then I want to take my little bunny brush, and with the top corner, I just want to come up here and just lightly go over this, just real lightly, and blend that out, like so. Just blend it out, like that. Then I want to come up with that fluffing it up stroke, and then just lightly come across it, about like so. I'm not real happy with that. I don't want it to look straight across there like that. I want it to be more down at the bottom, about like that. Yeah, that I can live with. Alright, I'll pick my filbert brush back up. I'm going into the white again. Now right here, where I already got that color, I want to stay under that color just a little bit. And I want to bring in another cloud. Even if it means going up into it in a couple places. You know, just make sure you leave some of it showing. Because it's really important that you leave this color showing in places, because that's going to be our separator. So just don't kill it all. And then just come over here and just start working the bottom out. Just making the little circles, just like so. Now that white will really look, it'll look real vibrant up to that color right there. All right, then I want to pick up a little bit more of our shade color. I want to come up here and just lightly touch across the bottom. Just real lightly. It don't take much of this to do the effect. About like so. Then I'll knock some of the blue out of my bunny brush over here. And I'll come back up and I'll start blending it again where that gray is. And just like before, we don't want a lot of it showing, just a little of it. And then we'll just lightly hypnotize that cloud, about like so. And then we'll come back into our white again, and we'll do the same thing here. We'll just come up, and this time we'll come up a little further in this one, because all we're doing is just stacking these clouds on top of each other right here. Just make sure you keep enough separator in there that you can tell there's clouds on top of clouds back here. About like so. About like that. Then come over here and get you a little bit more of your color. And come up and just work it in the bottom. About like so. Now I am knocking this color out on my paper towel every time. I know I didn't say that, but I am. Now I'm going to come up and blend this color out along the bottom real lightly. About like so. And then just kind of fluff it up a little and set it down into the clouds like so. And anywhere you got that line that's showing, just go back up and just do a little more blending on it. That's all you got to do. That's all you got to do. Just that simple. I don't know where that one come from. I guess off that other cloud a while ago. Alright, now, what we're going to do now is, this will be the last time we come into our white right here. We're going to come up and just leave ourselves that separator. And we're just going to make this all tie together. And one thing I would suggest, and whether you do it or not, it's entirely up to you, but see that little blue right in there? When you start doing this cloud here, just start, leave yourself a little blue in here this time, so you can see through the clouds. You don't have to join it real solid everywhere right now. You can leave yourself some blue showing through here and there, and that'll add to the effect. That this is a pretty big cloud over here, and then leave yourself some of the separator up here, and then you can come back up here like it's just boiling out of the sky up here, because there is another step in this, believe it or not, that'll work sometimes, and sometimes it won't. But while we're right here at it, we're going to go ahead and try it. We're going to pick up just a tad, just a tad of cad yellow. Very little bit of cad yellow. And on just some spots, not many of them, just some of them, We're gonna come up here and we're gonna add just a shade of yellow in a couple of these clouds. We don't want it in many, because you got to be real careful with this yellow. Anytime you're working this close to blue, you got to be careful with yellow. Because if you're not careful, the first thing that's going to happen is you're going to end up with some green in your sky, and it is not going to look right. Unless you want a green sky. Now, if you want a green sky, make you a green sky. But I don't want a green sky in this paint. That's about all the yellow I want. I just want it in a few places, and I'm going to wash the filbert brush. And I am going to knock out some more of the blue color out of my little bunny brush. And I'm going to come up into this yellow, and I just want to lightly touch it. Just lightly touch it. That's all I want to do. There's our hair we need to get off. I'll come back and get that with a stiffer bristle brush. Just take that yellow and make sure you keep it in the white. Don't let it get out into the blue. Because if it does, you're gonna go green. Because that phthalo blue will turn yellow green quick. I almost did it right there. Alright, and then just come over this real lightly and just pull that yellow down into your sky right there, just ever so lightly. Just pull it back. That's all we're doing. Just pull it back into the color. Just lightly pull it back. See how it's just I mean, you know, if you pull it back so far that it disappears in some places, that's fine too. We're not going to cry about none of it. All right. Now we want to pick up the little small brush that we was using earlier for sketching. Let me get this hair out of here first. All right. We're going to come back over here in our shade color and put just a little bit of this on our brush. It's not going to take much of this to do what we're fixing to do. But we want to come in here at random and just kind of add us some little twirly spots. Just little circles here and there, kind of just at random. Because all they're going to be is just little separators in some of the clouds. They're going to look like some bottoms on some of them. And it's just going to make it look like you got more clouds up here than you really do. Like around this yellow one right here, you can bring a little bit of that in there. And you don't have to do it around all the yellow ones. You can drop down from the yellow some. Like right here, we'll drop down under this yellow one. And we'll put this one right here. And then on this one back here, we'll just kind of touch it in a couple places around like that. And then up here on these, we'll just bring us a little light line across here, just like so. It don't have to be much to these little subtle changes can add so much to your painting. I mean, they really can. Just by adding that little bit of color right there, if we blend it proper, when we come back up here, you'll see for yourself what this does. It just adds another whole dimension to the clouds. All right, we'll wash that little brush, and then we'll take our. Hopefully, this is the last time we had to do this. All right. Very lightly, you just want to come in here and just get as close to everything now as you can. Well, I got a brush I'm going to come back, and I forgot about that, and I'm going to blend real close to the mountain with. But on all of the little marks you just made, just come up and tap them, sort of, tap and pull them. And all you're doing is just setting them down. Just setting them down in the cloud. And when they're seen, they're just going to look like little individual parts of a cloud up here. And then on all of these, just where you put your straight ones across there, just come back, just touch them. Because this brush is so gentle that's all you got to do. And then just come over everything real lightly. Just real lightly. And set it all down. Now I've got a little sable hair brush. It's a number 2 sable. And I can bring that little sable brush right in here where that white line meets the harsh white line. And I can just come right in the bottom right here and just softly blend them together, just like that. Because this brush, just like that other one, is real soft. Now this one is probably not as soft. I know it's not. It's not as soft as the little bunny hair rabbit brush, but it's still pretty soft. You can move that yellow around with it, see? Like if you got some yellow up here that's just 2 yellowing spots, you move it around. Because all you want that yellow to be is just kind of noticeable in places. It don't have to be just glaring back, like a glaring yellow, just a little bit noticeable, that's all. And then just a couple little small circles here and there. And I think we're gonna probably let this do it for our sky, because that's about as effective as I think it needs to be. Maybe pick up a little bit of white right here and come up here and give that cloud a little bit more body. I like so. Yeah, I like that better. Then we'll wipe out some of this purple around here. See where those little blue spots shine through? How pretty that is? It just makes it look like the clouds moving in your sky. I think it really helps. Alright, we'll go ahead and wash all these brushes now, including the little bunny brush. Then we'll get started doing trying to do some magic. We kind of like coloring, like you did in school. I guess we could say we are doing a coloring book for adults right now. Let's just hope our coloring is effective, because if it's not, then we're going to be in trouble. This is not going to look right. Alright. I know we're going to need this 1-inch brush, so I'll go ahead and get it clean. Y'all gonna have to forgive me for my breathing tonight. It's I don't know. I think I'm coming down with some kind of cold or something. My daughter was sick over the weekend. She went to the doctor. She found out she's just got a bacterial infection, so I know I'm not getting it from her. I think it's because the weather had started warming up here, and next thing you know, it dropped down in the 40s. And my word, it got cool and then it warmed back up today. I think this weather's just trying to kick my old butt. But I got on my vitamins today and I got me some orange juice. So in a couple of days I may have it beat. Until then I'm just gonna sound kinda hoarse, and I may run to the doctor and see if she can give me some kind of antibiotic or something, and maybe a asthma inhaler, because my asthma's kind of been acting up here lately a little bit. I think that's all due to the weather. All right, I got all the brushes clean. Okay, now this is when it's going to start getting fun. I'm going to pick up my filbert brush and I'm going to go into the sap green, and I'm going to go into the mountain mixture color. More sap green than the mountain mix, because I do want this color to be a dark green. That's all I'm looking for. And I want to come up here and just start back with my outline now, about like so. And just fill this color in to where it's dark green all the way across here, about like that. Alright, now I'm going to use, and you use whatever you want to right here, but I'm going to use a 1-inch brush. If you want to use a 2-inch, you can. If you want to use a fan brush, you can. That's entirely up to you. But I'm going to come right here, and very easy, I want to come right here, and I want to pull this color up, straight up with these trees. Straight up, just like so. Now see how that did all that little white in there? All that white came off them clouds that's behind there. And that's not a bad thing, because what we're going to do now is where that white is, we're going to take that little sable brush, that real soft one, and we're going to come back into this color and we're going to tap a little color on it. And just here and there at the bottom of these trees, we want to tap in some of the sap green and the color mixture that we made up. We just want to come back in there and tap it over a little of this white here and there. But now we want to leave some of the white. We don't want to get rid of all of it. In fact, we're not trying to get rid of the white. We're trying to change the color of the green. See how it's doing that? It's still staying green, but since it had that white in it, it's lighting up in spots. And then you can knock a little bit of that color out. Then you can go into just the mountain mix color by itself. And you can come back up here in a couple of these light spots, and you can just tap until it starts getting dark and move it around a little bit. But when you go to move it around, just make sure you blend it in. Don't let it be a black dot in there. Just kind of move it around in places. And we don't want to kill all of this. We just want to do it in a few places, just here and there. Just kind of pull it down, about like so. And what this will represent, or what it'll look like, is in places it'll look like you got little trees up here on top of your heel that are still growing, but just in different places. But just, you know, like you always say, don't kill all the dark. Well, this time don't kill all the light. See how it's got those light green spots and it's got the dark green spots? And that's what you're kind of looking for right there. And then we'll throw that brush back in the thinner. All right, now we want to come back up here. We want to come back into our mountain mix. We want to come into our Van Dyke brown. And we want to pick us up some more sap green. And before this painting's over, we may end up having to add a little more sap green up here to our palette. But if we need to, we will. Alright, now when we started doing our outline earlier, we said that all of this was going to be dark right through here. And we was going to have a light line of trees right in here. So we'll come back up here on our line. And let's come out like this. I always like giving myself a little movement in my ranges and stuff. I don't want a straight down one. About like so. And we just want to come in here now and color all this in dark. But see how that green's showing through in places? Just let that work, you know. And then we'll come over here where we had this, because we know we're going to put a couple trees down through here. So we'll just leave them there so we'll know, we'll remember to do them. About like so. And come off the canvas in here. And we'll come down right to the top of this line where we said we was going to add the light color trees. And we'll probably add them light color trees down to probably right here. So we'll go ahead and make us another, we'll make us another mark right there. Alright, then we'll come in here. And we know all of these are going to be trees over there. So we can color in between them. Because everywhere we come back up in here to do these trees at, we'll cover over this green mark that we're putting down in here. We'll cover over all that. That's not the actual tree. That's the green that's going to be behind the trees. Or the dark color that's going to be behind the trees. If that makes sense. Alright, just keep this kind of dark across here. And you can join it right into the lines we just made. Just like so. Just like that. Now hang on to your filbert brush, and then take your 1-inch brush that you did the little hillside with right there, and come back up here and just start pulling straight out. Give yourself some straight up trees up here now. You can come right down over that, just like so. Just like so. And then if you want to come in here with a couple marks, you can. Just like so. Because all that's going to do is just give it a texture in here. See how I did that? That's all we're doing. It's just looking for that. Just looking for that texture. And then right in here, you just want to pull this up. And you can come across here in several places that you get that light color on your brush, and you can just come in here and make little spots. And once this paint goes to setting up, that'll be seen. It might not be, it may not be the way you want it, and you may have to come back in there with a little bit more color. But if you do, the color you want to use, well, let me just go ahead and show you. All right, we want to take us a little bit of white, more white than green, and take you a little bit of sap green and bring over here and get you a light green color, and then bring in just a tad of the mountain mix color. Well, it ain't the mountain mix color. It's the color we used right here to make that dark. It's a mountain mix, Van Dyke brown, and a little bit of green, sap green. And then you just bring that color over into your white and green mix, and you'll get a value of that color, but it'll be a lighter value. In fact, if you can see this color on the knife right there, that's the color we ended up with. And it's just a lighter version, a lot lighter version, probably 4 or 5 steps down, if I had to guess. And then just take your 1-inch brush and just tap into it real lightly. You don't want to put a lot of this color on there, because it's gonna show up. But just when you come up here and go to doing these little trees at random, in different spots, just keep in mind to pull them up straight. See how it added them little light colored trees in here? But just make sure you keep them straight. Don't let that color fool you, because it's going to show up. So if you get crooked, it's going to show. But just, at random, you don't have to make a straight line or nothing. You just want to kind of touch at random with them, just to show, that you have got a different color right there. All right, now for this next step, we're gonna swap brushes. All right, I'll go ahead and, I'll just hang on to this 1 inch. It ain't real bad dirty. All right, we're gonna pick us up a number 6 fan brush, or number 3. I don't remember what I got out here. I got several out, but probably best to do this with a number 3. Yeah, let's do that. No, this is a 6, so we'll use it. All right, we're gonna make us up another color. All right, we're gonna take some of our cad yellow and pick it up and bring it over to that color that we just made. And then bring you just a little bit more sap green over. And then mix all this color together real good. And the reason we're putting the yellow in it and the rest of the green is because it'll give it a, what's the word? It'll give it a, it'll give it that color, if you can see that. It's still green, but it's got kind of a yellow hue to it. In fact, we'll put a little bit more green in there than that. Just a little bit. We'll green it down some. That may be a little too yellow. I do want this color to be lighter in here because I feel like the sun, the way that sun's shining across here, I feel like it's going to have a spot lit up here somewhere. And if we don't hurry up and do it, we're going to run out of room to do it. So, alright, I'll come right here and I'm wondering, yeah, I'm going to put just a drop of thinner in this color. Just a drop. I don't think it'll take much. But we got a lot of paint up there and I want it. Alright, right here we're going to be real careful how we do this. Because the minute we touch in that dark color, it's going to start bringing that dark color down. And we really don't need that to happen. So, where's going to be the best place to start? I'll start at the top. Ooh, yeah, we'll go ahead and we'll do it this way. Alright, we're gonna come across here and we're gonna touch this fan brush. Just give yourself some tree shapes back here. And they do not have to be, they don't have to be perfect. You know, we've done tappy trees before. These are real similar to those, but not exactly like them. And you can come back up here and just kind of, you know, in spots, give them a little sharper look on top. And see how it's pulling some of that dark down in it? That's not a real bad thing. It's kind of a good thing, really, because but you can always come back up here and just keep them, you know, just come up here and keep them down. About like so. About like that's all you need to do, really. Alright, I see a spot right there I'm not just thrilled with. This spot right here, I want these trees to be a little more defined in there. Yeah, about like that. And then we'll just let them stop right here because we know we got a tree coming up. We got several trees coming up over here actually. And we'll pull this down just like so. Alright, now we are going to pick up that 1-inch brush that we had that we was pulling those trees up with, and we're going to put us just a little bit of white on it. And we're going to come right up here and we're going to tap across the bottom of these just like so. Just come over and just tap in just a very little bit of white over here. And then we'll knock this color out of our brush. This may end up being a 3-hour video, y'all. Y'all comment and let me know if this kind of stuff bothers y'all when we do long videos, because I really don't know. And then I'm going to come over here and just lightly pull this up. And when you go to pulling this up, it'll pull that white into the, see how it did that? I mean, it's going to give us a little mist, which we won't, but see how it pulled that white in between the green? It almost gives it like a see-through effect in here. Like you can see little trunks all back in there. And then just come in here and kind of lightly tap out these trees. We don't want to come in here and do a whole lot of brushing right now. And the reason for that is because we're going to pick our fabric brush back up. And we're going to go right back to that same color that we used up here. And we're going to leave a little mist in places. But when we come down, we can kind of, we can kind of make a couple little bends in this. It don't have to be straight everywhere. And we can bring it out just like so. Just like that. And pick us up a little more of this color. And just start filling it in. Just like so. See how it's lightening up because we got that little bit of white in there. And we got that little bit of green color in there. Alright, we know there's going to be a tree there. We know we're going to have bushes over here. Bush right there. And we got bushes over here. Alright, and we'll fill all this in with color. Like so. Anytime you don't know really what to do as far as alright, I'm gonna pull this down a little further than we really should, but we can get all that out. In fact, I'll go ahead and pull some of this down too, because we already know where everything's gonna stop at. Alright. I think what we might do is finish this side, and then I don't know. I'll see where we at. I don't want to keep making a whole bunch of videos and you get halfway through seeing a painting done and then it disappears. Alright, then I want to come in here and I want to start lifting this color up into the light color that we just put on, just like so, and that'll just look like it come on down the hill right there in a couple ways. But now it almost looks like we need to give these a little bit steeper top up here, like so. Alright, about like that, that's all we need to do. That worked out pretty good, because it's got that. Alright, let me show y'all now what, I'm going to do one, just to show you what, how these will work out like this. Alright, I'm going to pick up. Alright, I'll just grab another fan brush since I got a couple out over here. Alright. This one, none of these really have to be that tall. Not really. Alright, so what I'll do is alright, we know we're going to change colors right here. Because that color, we want it to, alright, so what we'll do is we'll pick us up just a little bit of cad yellow and we'll go back into that color that we had made, the sap green. Well, we'll make a little more of that color up. Sap green, and just a little Van Dyke brown, a little bit of the mountain color, and a little bit of cad yellow. And it's not going to take much cad yellow because we don't want this color. I mean, we want it a little lighter, but we got to highlight it, so keep that in mind too. But basically the reason we want it a little lighter right now is so we can see it when we build it. But we want to come in up here, and it, like I said, this one don't have to be real tall. We just kind of let it mix in with this color. Just kind of tap it down like so. And then just come off of the sides with a little bit of tree shape, just like so. Now I know this is not the typical green tree that we do, but it'll all make sense when we come back up and highlight it. Alright, and we'll come right beside this one, and we'll do another one. But see, since these trees are over here and they're up against all this dark and this dark background, we got to kind of let them, be different, you know. We can't come in here and do a standard type of evergreen tree, because it's just not going to work in this particular painting. But now, like I said, once we come in here and go to highlighting, I think you'll see what we were doing. And you know, they don't all have to be the same height. They can be shorter. And taller, or you know, however you want them to be. Because we are going to have some pretty tall ones back in here at some point. And when we start making them real tall ones, well, they're going to be really tall. I'll tell you what we'll do. Right now is when we're fixing to start doing a tall one. So I'll come in here. Now we're fixing to do another color change. I'm going to take some more green and put into that. And I think I want a little blue in here this time. A little phthalo blue. And I want to mix them colors, and I want to get just a little bit dark sienna this time. And come in here. So I think that blue, with that blue, it'll turn a darker bluish green. I think on these two trees here, it'll show up a little better. And we kind of, well, we're going to have to come in here first. We can do one. We can do this one. All right, so we'll come up here on this one. And we'll put him up into the clouds about like so. And we'll bring it down to about the top of the house right there. And we'll come up and we'll just kind of touch him left to right. It's just going to be an up tree like we did the other day. Just kind of work it back and forth. And like I said, with that blue in here, I think you'll actually be able to see where you're coming down with your tree. That way when you get to the top of your cabin right here, we can stop about like so. Yeah, I can see that. You might not be able to because of where you're at, but I can see it because, well, I guess because I put it there. I'll tell you what, when I got this color on there, I'm going to come over here and I'm going to add just a little bit of dark back in here. I think it'll look good. I don't want much, just a little. I think it'll look pretty decent. It'll kind of tone that light green down some. Yeah, I like that. That did do some good. Okay. All right. Now, this is another step where things kind of go a little different than what we've been doing. These trees are lighter. I just darkened them up some. But I got a little filbert. And this is a number 2 filbert. If you remember the color that we made this with, we came back over and added a little bit of sap green and stuff like that to it. So now what we want to do is we want to take us, well, let's get a knife and do it. I'm going to come over here and I'm going to pick some of this color up, and I'm just going to move it to another place to work. And I'm going to bring in some yellow ochre into this color. And I know what you're probably thinking. You're probably thinking, yellow ochre? Well, what that yellow ochre will do is give us a kind of a mustard. No, not really mustard. It'll give us a different color green. I don't know if you'd call it, I don't really guess you'd call it mustard. But it's a funky looking green. Alright, we're going to pick up just a little bit of thinner on our brush. Don't need much, because this is a little brush. And we're going to touch the paint and just load it up on both sides. Now, I'm sitting right here under all of these lights, so I can see. Plus, I know where I changed colors. You don't in this painting, because I don't know what that camera's showing. But this tree's coming up right here, and the top of that tree is right here. See it? Well, I don't know if you can see it or not. But the top of that tree is right here. Right there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come down it just a little bit. Well, I don't think we'll need a trunk in these. Alright, then with this little bitty filbert, I'm just going to start touching. And like I said, don't take much thinner, but if it don't come off your brush easy, get you a little more. Just don't get it to where it's running. You don't want this paint running. Alright, and then just ever so lightly, just real little side to side, just little side to side taps right in here. See how it's a different green? Now we don't want this tree real wide. We want it to kind of stay sort of skinny, because that's the kind of tree it is. But just come in here with your filbert, and that filbert's real good at giving you some them kind of little drop down leaves sometimes. And so you can bring this color out to where that other green is, and it separates it still. It don't become a tangent back here. They don't blend in. And it still lets your little evergreen tree here show up. And then the further you come down with this color, the more this color is going to fade into dark, because it's steady picking this dark up off the tree. And I'm not going to load back up. I'm going to let it take all of it. I'm going to just let it completely run out right here till I get to the bottom. And just like that, that's all the tree I want over here. I don't want a real bright, because see, we already got a little bit of light right in here to where it looks like the sun may be coming behind these trees. And by doing these trees a different color and leaving it light back here, it kind of makes it look like this comes down in a valley back here. Or it should when we get done. I'll say that. It may be early in the painting to see that yet, but that's the look we're going to kind of go for. All right, now I want to come up here to the top of this one. And it's right there. We'll come down a little ways with it. We'll follow that trunk down a little ways. And then we'll come up here with some light little touches, just like we did over there. Alright, we got to get a little more thinner. That paint don't want to pull off. Alright, now we'll come back up here and we'll start again. There we go. Just little light taps. Don't push hard right in here, because if you do, you end up with a smudge mark that is not what you're looking for. But just like so, just come down. Now when we get over here to this other tree, I'm going to show you a trick here. Alright, we're right here at it. So now what we're going to do is we're going to start moving out to the side, to this side. We're not even going to worry about this other side other than just putting in just a little bit. That's all we got to do over here now. And I'll show you why in just a second. And we'll bring this one all the way down to the bottom, just like so. Alright, if you can see how this tree come down when it got into this one we stopped, it kind of makes this tree, even though this is all far off and we don't have a lot of detail right there, it makes it look like that tree's just a little bit behind that one. Just a little bit. And sometimes that's all you need to sell an effect, is just a little subtleness. Because now you can come back in here and fill this middle in. With another little, just a branch right here, and just kind of touch, and just kind of let it disappear back in there. But see how it looks like another tree back behind these? And that's all we were looking for. And then you can come out here on these. Now you don't have to get real technical in here, because we're going to put another tree right beside this one. And with a tree right beside this one, these trees will end up looking like they're, hopefully, they'll look like they're stacked out across here. Alright, we'll come in here and load up again. Alright, this one comes way up here. I don't know why I made that one so tall, but I did. Now all you need on this line straight down, or this line that you're drawing down, is just enough to see what you're doing. You don't, I mean, it's just a guide. You don't even have to put that there if you're good enough with this brush. I'm not that good with it. Sometimes I can get lucky, sometimes I can't. But just like the other two trees, we want to come up here and we want to do the same thing. But we just want to keep these looking like little evergreens back here. We don't want to paint a real big honking evergreen tree right now. Now that's not to say that we won't, before this painting's over. But right now, that's not what we're looking for. All right, and bring this out. About like so. See how that's kind of taking on that droopy look. See how it just makes it look like the limbs are drooping down. And over here we got a up tree. So all that's going to do is just help sell the overall effect. Because now we got different trees back in here. All right, and don't forget right in here you're getting toward the roof. So, because that's going to get real fun when we get to that part. All right, so now we want to come in here and come back and add just a little light right in here. Just a little. Because now we know where the other tree is sitting. And we can bring a little right in here now. And it don't take much back here to do this, to make these trees look round. And that's all I'm doing right now by adding this color. I'm not adding it in a bunch of places. I want to kind of keep it, if I can, I'd like to keep it to one side more than the other. But I don't want the color to, I don't want it to fade away into our dark, to where it don't look like it's its own tree, if that makes sense. That's one thing to not want it too bright, but I also need it bright enough that it don't disappear back into the dark color back here. I need it to be seen as a tree. Am I making sense? I hope I am. But now see, when you start painting with these smaller brushes like we're doing tonight, see how much detail you can add to a painting. And this is totally different style of painting than what we've been doing, where we've been taking just touching a little spot and making a bush, or we're not doing that tonight. Tonight we're building stuff, and to me it's more fun this way. All right, now I think what we need now is just a different type of tree altogether. So we'll come in here. I got a little small fan brush. And I think what I'll do now is, let's look at our colors here. We know we got to highlight this. And we know we got a lighter green here. So, tell you what, just to make it stand out, we'll come over here and we'll pick us up a little white. It's not going to take much. And we'll bring it right into that color we're using. Just white. And it'll give us a light green. And we'll tap it right on the fan brush. But now, I'm tapping the fan brush straight down into the paint. Not dragging it through like we always do. And it's rough looking. See? The fan brush looks like it's been beat up. But what I want to do is, I want to come up here now, and I want to just, with this fan brush all beat up like that, I want to just come in here at a funny looking little angle, and come down to the roof of the house right here. About like that. See how that's a totally different tree. Then we'll come right beside it over here, and we'll do another one. About the same. About like that. And we'll bring it to the top of the house, about like so. Alright, I ain't real happy with the fact that that's almost the same color. Alright, tell you what we'll do. We'll get a little dark sienna and a little of the yellow ochre. And we'll mix this color, a little white. Very little white. Now on these particular trees, we will give ourselves a little trunk on these running. Got a little paint hanging over right there. Alright, we'll give ourselves a little trunk back here in these. About like that. Not much. And then we will bring in a little yellow into this color and a little bit of thinner. And we'll mix this color up. And that yellow should give us a little highlight. We don't want a lot of highlight back here. So what we want to do is we want to touch it random. Just here and there. Touch over the trunk. Just here and there. Just enough to make it stand out back here. About like so. Come back over the trunk in places. And maybe the top. About like this. Yeah, about like that. That added a little life to it. And we'll do the same right beside it. Just enough to bring a little life into it. And we'll push the other one back. And we'll make this one look like it's in front of it. About like so on top of the house. Yeah, I like that better. In fact, we'll even come in here a little. There we go. Now, I really like that. It looks like it should look. We'll bring it on down to the roof. About like that. Alright, and we'll go ahead and wash that little brush. I don't know that we'll use it again. If we do, it'll be a while. Are y'all having fun yet with this one? I really hope you are. I am. I always like doing stuff a little different. I'm going to go ahead and wash the filbert. Now I'm going to pick up that number 6 fan brush again. But before I do that, I'm going to pick up a little of the brown and white color that we used. And I'm going to come over here, put us a trunk in, or a little indication of a trunk. It ain't got to be much of one. Boy, my throat is bad scratchy tonight. Alright. I don't really want to use this color. It's too... I'll bring in a little of that dark color we had over here. and I'll bring it into this pile that we were just using and mix it in. I think it'll be, I'm pretty sure it'll be lighter than what's up there. If it don't show real good, then I'll come back down here and lighten it up a little. But for now, I think we're gonna try it. All right, I'm gonna come up here. Want the brush turn sideways and angled a little bit. I just want to touch. Just touch. Push up. No, it ain't light enough, so I'll pick up a little of the green. I mean, a little of the yellow. Not much. Alright, let's come back up here. Touch. Yeah, there we go. Now it's showing. I'm gonna bring some of these limbs over in front of that one. Ooh. Yeah, I got some work to do now. My trunk pulled out. Thought I had it light enough that it wouldn't do that. Oh well, we can fix it. Just let me come back up here and pick back up where it messed up at. Right in there, looks like. About like so. Yeah, that tree is, that color's light enough that it showed. Yeah, okay. And then I'm not sure if, alright, we'll pick up a little bit of the white. It shouldn't take much white. And we're going to need just a little bit out here to catch some of the sun. Just not much. Out here on this outer edge. Just enough to change the flavor. Just a little bit. About like so. Maybe a little more. We might we might do these little bushes right here tonight, and then we'll probably call it quits for tonight and come back maybe tomorrow and get started back up on it. You know, that don't look too bad. I think it'll look even better once we get this color in here on the house. It'll show that light better. Alright, over here, I think all these little bushes are going to be in shade. Because the sun's shining here and they got all that stuff in front of them. So, let's take a 1-inch brush and we will take a little bit of the Van Dyke brown. That should be a good dark color. And maybe a little of the green color that we were using earlier. And we'll just come up here and we'll just start giving ourselves a little bush shape across here. Just about like so. And we'll bring it down over here. And we'll bring it right over to the trees. I want to keep this straight across here because don't forget our land's gonna straighten out back in here somewhere. Alright, I'm going to have to pick up my script liner because this is just worrying me. Alright, I'm going to pick up my script liner brush and I'm going to bring it right up here into my dark sienna. Straight dark sienna. And I'm going to get me a little bit on my script liner. And I want to come right here in this tree. And I want to draw me a trunk down. Just like so. And I don't think it'll take much. Because we're gonna push that little trunk in. And we're gonna push it in with the script liner since we made it with it. We're gonna take it now. And we're just gonna lay that script liner up there and just push it down into the paint. Just like so. I just want that little bit of trunk to be seen in there. I just think it'll look better. Alright. Then I will wash this 1-inch brush that we just put that color on for the bushes. And everything we're working with up here appears to be pretty green so far. So what do you say we break some of that green up? Let's get us a little bit of yellow ochre. And a little bit of Indian yellow. And a little bit of cad yellow. Just mix it all right here on the brush. Make sure your bristles are good open. Alright, we'll come right up here and we'll touch this color. Just don't kill all the dark back here. Because it's going to pick up some dark. Then you knock that out. And come back up here and pick you up just a little bit more of the same color. You come up here, touch it again, about like so. Then you can pick you up just a little bit more thinner. I really don't think it's going to need a whole lot of light colors back there. I really think it's going to be more in shadow, but it is a painting, so if we end up with a little bit of light back there, I don't guess it'll matter too much. We just don't want a lot. Alright, we'll make this a little darker right in here. But we'll still leave it light enough that it'll show up against that dark color in the back. And then we'll pick up just a little bit of yellow. And we'll come back up and highlight just a touch of it here and there. But we'll still leave it dark enough that it's still being seen. Let's fix this spot right here, just a little bit like that. Alright, what do we need to finish this out with? Because we got this color. Let's bring in just a little bit of red over here. That red, since it's got that green in it, it'll brown down some. But maybe we can keep enough ochre in it that it'll still show up a little peach color. There we go. Oh wow, that worked out perfect. I mean perfect. Yeah, that showed right up. That is perfect. And we'll bring it down just a little in front of the pine, like so. Yeah. Yeah, I can definitely deal with that. Wow, that turned out really, really good. Okay. I think we're gonna call that for tonight, cause we got us a pretty decent sky, and this side here is really coming together, and I think it's really pretty the way it's all fitting in. But while we're over here, I'll take my knife and go ahead and scratch in a few sticks and twigs, because you always need them, especially in your dark areas. They kind of help add to a painting. Now I'm gonna take the butt or the heel of my knife, and I'm gonna come up in the middle of my tree here, and I'm gonna push it up on all these little evergreens, and I'm gonna give them a real keen point, about like so. I just think that'll help sometimes. All right. Whew. I'm sorry I don't feel better tonight, my friends, but hopefully y'all have enjoyed it so far. This paint will kind of set overnight, and I can come back up in there and clean this tree up a little. The rest of it is, the rest of it just, it don't look bad so far to me. May have to blend these clouds out a little more tomorrow once we get because that paint will set up some too. But overall, it's really coming together. And then we'll come in here tomorrow and start building this side in. But thank y'all so much for joining me tonight, and keep me in your prayers if you will, because I kind of feel like crap tonight. But like I said, I've got some vitamins and stuff. Maybe tomorrow I'll wake up feeling like $1,000,000. Alright, so I'm going to get started back on it tomorrow. Love you guys. God loves you more. Y'all have a really blessed night. And thank you for joining me. Paint with her.